Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's session with a focus on mastering the Azure Developer CLI for more efficient cloud development. Today, we'll explore how to streamline project management, deployment, and collaboration on Microsoft Azure. Over the next few minutes, I'll guide you through the key concepts and practical tips to enhance your Azure development experience. Let's get started. Welcome to our introduction to Azure Developer CLI. Today, I'll be guiding you through how mastering this tool can make your cloud development more efficient and collaborative. Azure Developer CLI, or ASD, is designed to promote enhanced team collaboration. It offers a set of tools and workflows that simplify managing shared projects and deploying resources, which is essential when working with teams. One of the key benefits is its seamless integration with Azure services. This integration reduces the complexity often involved in setting up infrastructure, allowing developers to focus more on building rather than configuring. It really enhances the overall development experience. With ASD, developers can manage every aspect of their Azure projects, from initial setup to deployment, using straightforward commands. This unified approach makes handling cloud-based projects much more efficient and less error-prone. To sum up, Azure Developer CLI streamlines cloud development by simplifying project setup, resource management, and deployment. It makes working on Azure more accessible and ultimately more productive. As we continue, you'll see how these capabilities fit into our broader goal of efficient, collaborative cloud development. Why use Azure Developer CLI? Well, mastering this tool can really boost how efficiently your team develops in the cloud. It helps everyone work together more effectively and even pick up new skills along the way. Plus, it gives you better control over your cloud projects, which means more room for innovation and increased productivity. The CLI is designed to connect deeply with Azure services, making the developer experience smoother and more integrated. It's especially beneficial if your team is working with Net or Aspire Stack applications, as it streamlines those workflows. Another big advantage is that it enables smaller deployment packages. That means faster project setup times and better resource utilization, so you're not wasting time or money on unnecessary overhead. And when it comes to collaboration, Azure Developer CLI really shines. Its integration with tools like GitHub Actions and Codespaces helps your team work together seamlessly. It also automates your CI/CD pipelines, making your development process smoother and more reliable. Finally, commands like asd init and asdup simplify the entire project setup and deployment process. This saves your team time and effort, allowing everyone to focus more on building great solutions rather than getting bogged down in the logistics. Overall, Azure Developer CLI is a powerful way to make your cloud development more efficient, collaborative, and innovative. Now, let's take a closer look at the core features and commands of the Azure Developer CLI that can really boost your efficiency in cloud development. First, supported templates are a big deal. They include everything from web applications and APIs to microservices and even AI-powered solutions. Using these templates helps reduce setup errors and speeds up your overall development cycles. Next, the asd monitor command is essential for keeping an eye on your application's health and performance metrics. It allows you to catch issues early, ensuring your applications run smoothly and reliably. Then there's the asd env command, which makes managing different environments straightforward. Whether you're working in development, testing, or production, you can create, switch, and manage these setups with ease, keeping your workflows organized. The asd init command is your starting point. It initializes new projects using pre-made templates, setting you up quickly. Once your project is ready, the asdup command deploys your application and provisions all necessary Azure resources in a single step, simplifying what used to be a complex process. Overall, key commands like asd init, asdup, asd env, and asd monitor form a powerful toolkit. They help you initialize projects, deploy, manage environments, and monitor performance, all crucial for efficient and effective cloud development. These features align perfectly with our goal of making cloud development faster, more reliable, and more manageable. Let's go over the installation and setup requirements for mastering the Azure Developer CLI. First, after you've installed the CLI, it's important to verify that everything is working correctly. You can do this simply by opening a terminal and running the command asd version. This will confirm that the installation was successful and show you the current version you're running. To ensure you're always taking advantage of the latest features and improvements, make it a habit to regularly update the CLI. Keeping it up to date helps you stay aligned with new capabilities that can make your cloud development more efficient. Now, when it comes to actually installing the CLI, you'll want to run the setup file on your machine. Just follow the on-screen instructions during the installation process to complete it smoothly. It's a straightforward process, but paying attention to each step ensures everything is configured correctly. When downloading the CLI, head over to the official GitHub release page. Make sure you select the correct version for your operating system, whether it's Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. Using the right version is key to avoiding compatibility issues later on. For Apple Silicon Macs, such as M1 or M2, you'll need to install Rosetta 2 to ensure compatibility with certain tools. If you're on Windows ARM 64 devices, check for support there as well. Compatibility varies, so it's good to confirm that your hardware is supported. Another essential pre-installation requirement is Docker Desktop. Having Docker installed is crucial if you plan to work with containers, which are often part of cloud development workflows. Additionally, make sure you have an active Azure account so you can provision resources once everything is set up. By covering these key points, verification, updating, downloading the correct version, ensuring compatibility, and preparing your environment, you'll be well on your way to mastering the Azure Developer CLI and streamlining your cloud development process. Now, let's talk about getting started with ASD and how it helps us manage our Azure environments effectively. First, creating a new environment is straightforward. You just use the command asd env new followed by the name you want to give it. For example, if you're setting up a development environment, you'd run asd env new dev. This allows you to organize your work into different contexts easily. Next, once you've created some environments, it's helpful to see what's available. You can list all your environments simply by running asd env list. This way, you always know what environments you've set up and can manage them accordingly. Switching between environments is just as simple. You use asd env select and specify the environment name. This ensures you're working in the right context, whether you're developing, testing, or deploying. Sometimes, you need to refresh your current environment settings to make sure it reflects the latest changes. The command asd env refresh updates the environment configuration, keeping everything in sync. Finally, when you're ready to deploy your project, you can target a specific environment with asd up followed by the environment name. This step helps keep your deployments organized, whether you're deploying to development, testing, or production. Mastering these commands makes your cloud development process much more efficient and organized. Now, let's look at how project initialization and resource provisioning work together to streamline our cloud development process. When we talk about automating complex infrastructure setup, the key benefit is that it significantly reduces manual errors, making our deployment more reliable and efficient. Using the asd tool helps us keep our cloud environment tidy and consistent across different stages of development. To do this, we start by running the asd up command. This command automatically provisions all the necessary Azure resources, such as resource groups and service plans. It also handles deploying your application and linking it seamlessly to the Azure services you need, so you don't have to set everything up manually. Before that, you'll want to initialize your project by running asd init. This step sets up your project with a chosen template, creating the essential code and configuration files needed to get started. Think of it as laying the foundation for your project, ensuring everything is organized from the beginning. And of course, to begin any of this, you need a local project folder. Creating this folder is the first step. It serves as the physical base for your Azure development environment. From here, you can develop, manage, and deploy your application with confidence, knowing that your setup is structured and consistent. Let ASD handle resource linking and configuration. This means it takes care of setting up and connecting all the necessary resources automatically, so you don't have to do it manually. This streamlines the entire deployment process, saving you time and reducing potential errors. By automating these steps, you can focus more on developing your application rather than worrying about the nitty-gritty of setup. Plus, it helps keep your deployments consistent and reliable. Next, let's talk about automating your deployments to keep your CI/CD pipelines running smoothly. With ASD, you can set up automated workflows that deploy updates seamlessly. This reduces manual intervention, which means fewer mistakes and faster delivery cycles. It's all about making your development and deployment process as efficient as possible. Now, managing different deployment environments, like development, testing, and production, is straightforward with ASD environment commands. You can switch between these environments easily, allowing you to test and deploy confidently at each stage without hassle. This environment management capability helps you keep everything organized and controlled. Finally, when you're ready to deploy your app, just use ASD Deploy. It packages your application and updates it on Azure quickly and effortlessly. This means you can ensure your app is always up to date with minimal effort, enabling rapid iterations and reliable releases. All these features together really empower you to deploy applications efficiently and confidently, making the whole cloud development process smoother and more manageable. Let's talk about how Azure Developer CLI integrates seamlessly with Visual Studio Code and GitHub Codespaces to enhance your cloud development experience. First, by leveraging AI tools within VS Code, you can significantly accelerate your coding and deployment tasks. These AI-powered tools help boost your efficiency and reduce manual effort, making your development process smoother. Next, setting up development containers and Codespaces allows you to create consistent cloud environments. This not only simplifies collaboration across teams, but also cuts down on the time needed to get everyone up and running. Consistency is key to avoiding environment-related issues. You can also run ASD commands directly within the IDE terminal, which keeps your workflow seamless. No more switching back and forth between different tools. Everything happens within your familiar environment, saving you time and reducing friction. Additionally, by using the Remote Containers extension, you can develop inside containers that have Azure resources accessible. This ensures your development environment stays consistent and isolated, which is especially useful for managing dependencies and avoiding conflicts. Finally, the tight integration between Azure Developer CLI, Visual Studio Code, and GitHub Codespaces means you can work efficiently in your preferred IDE. This connectivity empowers you to develop, test, and deploy more effectively, keeping your focus on building great solutions without being bogged down by technical hurdles. Let's talk about monitoring and troubleshooting Azure projects, which is a crucial part of mastering the Azure Developer CLI for efficient cloud development. First, proactive monitoring plays a vital role because it helps us detect issues early before they become bigger problems. This early detection is essential for keeping our operations smooth and minimizing downtime. When we're troubleshooting, one of the first things to do is read error messages carefully. These messages often contain hints or suggested fixes that can guide us toward resolving issues quickly. Remember, always ensure that the Azure Developer CLI, or ASD, is installed and kept up to date. When signing in, make sure to do it properly with the ASD auth login command to authenticate correctly. To dig deeper into potential problems, utilize Azure Monitor dashboards. These dashboards give us access to logs, traces, and detailed metrics that reveal what's happening behind the scenes. We can run commands like as-monitor activity log list to check resource activity, or as-monitor metrics list to review performance metrics. These tools are invaluable for diagnosing issues. Finally, keeping our Azure applications healthy involves regularly using monitoring tools like ASD Monitor. This command provides insights into app health and performance, enabling us to act proactively. Overall, integrating these monitoring and troubleshooting practices into our workflow ensures we maintain robust, reliable cloud projects. Let's dive into how infrastructure as code, or ISC, with ASD can really transform your cloud development process. First, ISC makes it much easier to track infrastructure changes over time. This means you can see what modifications have been made, when they were made, and by whom, which gives you better visibility and control. It's like having a detailed history of your infrastructure. Next, because ISC enables repeatable and error-free deployments, you significantly reduce the risk of manual configuration mistakes. Instead of manually setting up resources each time, you define everything once and then deploy it consistently every time, making your process more reliable. Now, automating resource provisioning and updates with ASD commands that read these templates streamlines the entire management process. This automation saves time and minimizes errors, letting you focus more on developing your applications rather than managing infrastructure. It's also essential to store your ISC files in source control. This practice not only helps with versioning, so you can track changes over time, but also enhances collaboration among team members. Everyone can work together more effectively, knowing they're referencing the same baseline. Finally, defining your Azure infrastructure declaratively using Bicep or Terraform templates ensures a clear and consistent approach. This method helps you manage resources more predictably, making your cloud environment more stable and easier to maintain. Altogether, these practices with ISC and ASD empower you to develop and manage Azure resources more efficiently, reliably, and collaboratively. Now, let's look at how you can monitor your CI/CD pipelines directly on GitHub. This allows you to quickly verify whether your deployments have been successful without switching tools. Having this visibility is crucial because it helps you maintain confidence in your continuous delivery process, ensuring everything runs smoothly and issues are caught early. Next, when you push your code changes to GitHub, it automatically triggers your pipeline runs. These pipelines handle building, testing, and deploying your application. This seamless integration streamlines your development workflow and significantly speeds up your delivery cycles, so you can get features and fixes out to users faster. To set up these pipelines, you run a simple command like asd pipeline config. This command helps you configure your CI/CD pipelines and automatically provisions the necessary Azure resources. It's a straightforward way to ensure your cloud infrastructure is ready for automated deployments, reducing manual setup and potential errors. Finally, you can also clone ASD template repositories to kickstart your projects. These templates come with pre-configured workflows, making it easier to set up your projects quickly. They integrate seamlessly with GitHub Actions, so you can focus on developing your application rather than spending time on initial setup. Now, let's look at how team collaboration and learning resources come together to support efficient cloud development. When teams use the Azure Developer CLI, they can coordinate their efforts more smoothly across development, deployment, and monitoring. This means less confusion and more streamlined workflows. Plus, team members can keep improving their skills by tapping into official guides and practical examples provided by Microsoft. This continuous learning helps everyone stay up to date and confident with the tools. Another key aspect is community engagement. The platform encourages sharing ideas and best practices within the developer community, which sparks collaboration and innovation. By connecting with others, teams can learn new approaches and solve challenges more effectively. Azure Developer CLI also offers extensive documentation, tutorials, and sample projects. These resources are designed to accelerate learning, making it easier for teams to master the platform quickly and confidently. And to make development even smoother, the CLI integrates seamlessly with popular IDEs like Visual Studio Code. This integration ensures that teams can work efficiently without switching tools, maintaining a smooth workflow from coding to deployment. Finally, the CLI supports shared codebases and environment management through GitHub integration. This feature allows teams to collaborate on the same projects easily, managing environments and code changes in a way that keeps everyone on the same page. Altogether, these resources and features foster a collaborative, skilled, and innovative developer community, which is essential for successful cloud projects.